What up, traders? So today we are gonna go through some basic market stuff for you guys, some technical analysis, just a quick breakdown on a few pairs that we're actually looking on for this upcoming week. Yeah, so first we got a dollar index, which we always start off with. Well, that's how I do my technical analysis. I look at the dollar because the dollar actually tells me, yeah, as a technical trader, what my major pairs will be doing. Yeah, so for some of you experienced traders will understand why I said that. So looking at my dollar, what I'm actually seeing, I can see price is actually looking for some sort of bearish pressure here. But before we move on to that, I'm just gonna break down why I'm actually looking for that. So let's move back to my daily. So I'll work from my daily come down. So what we have here on the dollar, you can see where price is just trading between this range of 89.45 and you got 94.23 here. So you can see price is just ranging between here. So if you want, you can pull a level of resistance to that zone right there, so around 93.41. So if you look at that right now, you can see that's where the dollar is actually trading in between, you know what I mean? So what I'm actually looking for, I'm looking for price to possibly reach back down into that support of 89.45, possible around 90.50, but it's all left to see what's going to actually happen here on the dollar index. So move back to my 4-hourly trend line here. So what I want to show you, what you can actually see now on the dollar index, you can see we have our support and resistance trend line drawn here, and you can see price is creating a series of higher highs here and higher low here. So you can see where we had our first high here, came back down, low, high, and then you guess what happened, price actually break our trend line here. So you can see where price broken through our trend line now. So that confirms to us that price sellers are stronger than buyers in the market. So if you zoom in on the dollar index here, you can see where we have our hammer here, then you can see where we have our T candle rejecting that level of resistance right there, you know what I mean? So this level there where they see price reacted with these two hammer, so you see, sorry, that hammer and the T candle where price actually rejected there is actually a level of resistance, and you can see where price sell off here. So one confirmation again to show you that the dollar is actually going to go bearish as well, yeah. So something that I'm going to point out to you guys, remember, yeah, that we just had a bullish market run towards the upside, right? But if you look at the change of the trend, that's why it's good for you as technical trader to identify certain chart patterns. So what I'm actually seeing, I'm seeing a head and shoulder pattern, which mostly occurs when the market is changing its trend, where you're going to find head and shoulder pattern, yeah. So if you look at this now, what I'm actually going to show you, you can actually see what price did right here. So you can see price came back up here, broken through this level of resistance, went up here, failed to continue high, give us that hammer and that T candle, right? Push back down towards the downside. You can see where price created its first low, yeah. So which known as the first lower low. So you can see where price create that lower low formation right there on that level of support, and what happened? Sideways, created a triple bottom. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and then price went up, failed to continue higher, reject this level of resistance here. So you can see that price was in that zone around the 20th of July here. So you can see where price reject that level of resistance here. Guess what happened? When price went up back and reject that level of resistance, guess what happened? So let me just show you guys. So when price actually went up, you can see where price actually reject this level of resistance here with a bearish engulfing candle here, and look what happened. Price continue towards the downside. So like things like these, as technical traders here, you need to start looking for what price action is telling you here. Look for the different key basics, like look for different candlesticks, certain chart patterns, what the market is actually showing you here, to actually identify these key levels. And if you look at this again, I'm going to show you another opportunity, how you could have looked for selling opportunities on the dollar index. So we all had that bullish run towards the upside. So if you look over here, I'm going to take my head and shoulder formation tool. So pull from that low, you got my left shoulder. Why is it acting like that, man? So from that low, I got my left shoulder, and I got my head, and you can see where the head came in with these wicks, and you can see where price came back down, went back up here, and then look what happened. Price is actually selling off. So you can see right here we have some sort of support around 91.77. So possibly we're gonna see price reach back down into this zone before we start see some sort of buying reaction. So for that, what I want to actually see here, what I want to actually see for me to confirm price is actually bearish. I want to see some sort of correction here. So I want to possibly see some sort of correction, possibly back up into that zone here. I want to see some sort of correction, then I want to see price start trading towards the downside. So let me just show you a perfect example of what I'll be looking for. So I'll be looking for some sort of formation, possibly like a bearish flag type formation pattern here. So I'll be looking for something like that, and then I'll possibly look for something like that, and then see price actually reject and start creating lower low formation towards the downside. So don't mind the drawing, but that's what I'll be actually looking for on the dollar index. So let's remove these drawings and then move on. So my next pair that I'll actually be looking at is the USDZAR, which is the South African rand. So what I want to actually show you guys about the South African rand. So let's walk off the daily so you can have a better look. So looking at my South African rand, yeah, so what I'm actually seeing, yeah, you can see price just created a head and shoulder pattern around the 16th of April this year, 2021, yeah, where price have been trading towards the downside for so long. Look at that. We had all this bearish move here from since last year, and guess what happened? Price actually came back down here, and give us that inverse head and shoulder pattern, and look what happened. Start moving towards the upside. So you can see where we had our new resistance and support trend line drawn on our daily, and you can see price is back down into that level of support, and this level of support interact with that previous support around the 15th of April. So you can see there where it created that inverse head and shoulder pattern. You can see where price actually came back. Yeah, possibly we're gonna see some rejection. Well, I'm actually looking for some sort of reaction towards that zone. But if you move to your 4-hourly time frame, yeah, so when you look at your 4-hourly time frame, what you can actually see, you can see price just closed below my support trend line, but that doesn't give me enough confirmation that price is actually going to go bearish. I'm still going to look for buy. Reason being, yeah, we all know this level of support, yeah, came in back to that support around April, yeah, and you can see how price actually was struggling within these range before it started actually pushing higher. You can see where price came back again, give us this inverse head and shoulder pattern again right there around the 4th of August, and actually went high. Yeah, so now we get this correction stage here. Possible we're gonna see that same pattern, similar pattern like this right here. So we're possibly gonna look for something like this. So you can see where price actually came back down already, went up, pull back down here. So let's see if price can go up, give us that pullback phase, yeah, and then start trading towards the upside. So that is what I will actually look for on USD ZAR for this upcoming week. So possibly what I will actually look for, I'll look for some sort of wick rejection, or possibly a nice bullish engulfing candle is already there. As you can see, a bullish engulfing candle close on the 4-hourly time frame here. So that's, I'll possibly look for some sort of bullish run on USD ZAR for me. And as well, we are going to look for some sort of correction on the dollar index. So possibly we're going to see that move as well on USD ZAR, because USD ZAR tend to move with like the dollar. So like if the dollar is bearish, you will see USD ZAR bearish. If it's bullish, you will see USD ZAR bullish. AUD USD. So what I actually like on AUD USD, so let me just move to my daily time frame. AUD USD have this nice bearish run from since, let me tell you, since March. We had these two head and shoulder formation pattern form on AUD USD, and you can see where we had all this drop. Yeah, my next level that I'm actually looking for price to reach here is possibly around, I'll look for, say, I'll say probably 70 to 80. I'll look for price to move up to on AUD USD, right? So what I actually have here, you can see where I have my bearish market structure here. So you can see where price is actually creating a series of lower lows and lower highs. So now we're actually back in that lower high zone here. What I will actually look for now, I will actually possibly a bearish engulfing candle can confirm me that sellers are going to take price back down here. But you can see where we already have that wick rejection, wait for that lower high formation before entering here. So as you can see how I do my technical analysis here, just basic market structure, you know what I mean? It's like nothing difficult. So that's basic market structure. Identify the different candlesticks, price action, what it's actually doing, you know what I mean, and just look for market setup and enter the trade and exit the trade. Simple as that. You can see where we have this previous level of resistance, we have a nice hammer pin bar rejecting our resistance, taking price lower. So you can see how these candlesticks are actually playing out at these zones. So that's why it's good for you as a technical trader to pay close attention to the different candlesticks, yeah, and see how it's reacting within price action zones, yeah, or key levels like support and resistance, yeah. So you can see where we had this hammer and look what happened. We had a nice bearish engulfing as well. So that candle right there is a bearish engulfing, yeah, and what happened? Price actually went lower. See what I mean? So look as well, we have a nice bearish engulfing again and a level of resistance, and what happened? Price actually went lower. You know what I mean? So these are things that you guys need to actually pay close attention to. And you can see when price actually came back in this level of support there, where we have our support trend line, you can see where we have a bullish hammer pin bar, and then we had a bullish engulfing, yeah, where price went up, came back down, retest here, and we had a nice bullish engulfing conform, taking price higher, yeah. So simple things like this I want you guys to actually take away and pay close attention to, you know what I mean, instead of trying to over trade the market and try trading 15 different currency pairs. It doesn't worth it, you know what I mean. Stick to a few basic pairs and just pay close attention to them, you know what I mean. Just price action and just key basic market structure. USDCHF is a pair that I'm actually looking at, yeah. So if you look at the USDCHF here, you can see where we actually within this uptrend. So you can see where we have that level of support, you know what I mean. So I think around March, earlier around this year, February, we had this move towards the upside, and we had that all this selling off. We found some sort of support here, so you can see where we had that double bottom, yeah, from this level of support. So you can see where we have our we have our support trend line drawn, and what we can actually see here, we can actually see price is actually trading towards the upside. USDCHF as well, you can see where it's possibly looking like you want to create an inverse head and shoulder pattern. So if you look at USDCHF, like, you can see where price came down here, give us that left shoulder, give us that head, give us that right shoulder. So possibly we're gonna see something like that soon. See, our next resistance level is at around 94,704. So we can possibly look for price to actually move back within that range, or if price come below my support, you know what I mean, I'll look for price to actually move lower. Looking at USDCHF on my monthly as well, what I want to show you guys, I'm going to actually show you guys something. USDCHF has been selling off for the longest while now. So if you look at all the past years and ever since it started 2002, yeah, you can see where price have been in that bearish market, yeah, and you can see what we actually had. You can see we had this sideways move, yeah, and what I'm actually looking for, I'm actually looking for price to actually continue towards the upside. So like, if you can actually look on the lower time frame for entries on these pairs here, you can find some really good opportunities, especially on 4-hourly, yeah, and like daily is what you can actually do your analysis on, because those time frames are actually better for you guys to actually get some perfect setups and actually some perfect entries on these pairs as well, you know what I mean. So like, just pay close attention to them as well. GBPJPY, so I'm gonna actually break down GBPJPY for you guys, so you actually see I'm on my daily time frame now. So looking at GBPJPY on my daily, yeah, you can see where we had all this bull run here. So I'm gonna work with my key levels as well. So I'm gonna pull my support trend line from that low, yeah, towards that low, which is my higher low formation here. So you can see where we have our higher low formation. So you can see where price have been reacting within my support zone here. So what we can actually see here, we can see where we had that run, that bull run here towards the upside here, and we created a high around 156 for this year, and then you can see where price start trading towards the downside. So looking at GBPJPY on my daily, you can see we are currently in a bearish market structure on the daily time frame. So if you look at this, you can see where we have support and there's possible resistance at this zone as well, you know what I mean. So so if you move back to your 4-hourly time frame now, so move back to my 4-hour, Right, so now I'm back to my 4-hour time frame. You can see, let me just remove this. Right, now I'm back to my 4-hourly time frame here. What I'm actually seeing is a bearish market structure. Yeah, so you can see where price have been creating lower lows here, and you can see where we have this inverse head and shoulder pattern here. And I know this would have caught a lot of traders, you know what I mean? So you can see what happened when price came back down, created a head and shoulder retest right there, went high here, but look, came back down again, retest, and look, went high, reject that level of resistance again here. You know what I mean? So you see price rejected that level of resistance again. Look what happened here. You can see price came back down, give us that same formation pattern, created that head and shoulder pattern. Sorry, created that head and shoulder pattern and went towards the upside here. So if you look, you can see where price actually went up on GBPJPY. You know what I mean? So these are things that you guys have to actually pay close attention to, like simple chart patterns like these, like identifying these here. You can actually get a lot of entries and opportunities within the market. You know what I mean? So look at that. Price have been creating this same pattern over and over for you guys. You know what I mean? So ideally, you can actually use like lower time frames to like entry, like your 15-minute. But if you're not that professional as yet, I won't advise you guys to actually use those time frames, which I'm saying. So if you look at GBPJPY now, yeah, so last week I've been calling, I'll break down this for one of my mentors, one of my students, right? And I actually showed him that it's a bullish run, and you can see where price actually went up. So what I'm actually looking for now, because we are at this current level of resistance here, and you can see what we had here, we had a double top formation. So let's see how if price can actually fall below this level of support. Yeah, if price can break that support, then I'll look for something like this. So I'll look for price to come back down, retest. If it retests and reject, then I'll look for lower low formation. Then I'll possibly look for price to actually break my daily support trend line, because we had all that bullish run for so long here. So I'll look for price to actually break my daily trend line. So if I get a good entry, what I will do, I will keep hold of one just to see how price will react within this daily support trend line. You know what I mean? So that's my views on GBPJPY. So there's nothing really much that actually showing me, you know what I mean, the simple price action I'm actually reading for you guys. You know what I mean? So like if you look at the current market now, you can see you got your support trend line, and what you can actually see is like you can't really see any clean trend. You know what I mean? So possibly we're gonna see price actually come down like this, retest, and start creating some lower low formation. Yeah, so that's my views on GBPJPY. But unless if price break above this level around 150 to 32, then I'll look for price to actually continue long towards the upside. So if you look at GBPNZD, which is my final one that I'm actually gonna go through for you guys. So what I'm actually liking about GBPNZD here, you can see where we had this bullish run towards the upside here. For some of you traders, you can see how I'm actually doing my analysis is just basic market structure, so just basic support and resistance, right? So if you look at GBPNZD, right, what I'm actually showing you now, yeah, I already highlighted my support right there and my resistance trend line here. Don't mind these two falls breakout, these are things to just catch buyers and they get stopped out, right? So look at this rejection here. So you can see where we had our low here, then we had our break of the structure, went up, created that high, price came back down, found some sort of support here, and you can see how price actually react within that zone. Yeah, you can see where we have all these wick rejecting, and if you move back to possibly your hourly time frame, you're gonna see a double bottom formation, right? So what happened, you can see price start creating higher high here. Look at this, price actually created inverse head and shoulder pattern right there, and right here you can see where price actually went up high. You know what I mean? So like things like these, I want you guys to actually pay close attention to identify these different chart patterns and the change in the market trend. what you can actually see, we found some sort of resistance here, and price have been creating higher highs and higher lows within these zones here. Look again, you can see where we have this triple bottom here. We have a nice hammer, bullish hammer pin bar, and we had a nice wick as well right there. You know what I mean, rejecting this floor, which is our support, and price actually went higher. You know what I mean? And at our level of resistance, what you actually can see here now, right? You can actually see price give us a bearish engulfing candle, right? So you can see where we have just highlighted it right there. We have a bearish engulfing candle. Price came back down again, yeah, break. Yeah, you can see where price actually break low with these wicks, retest, break again and retest here, give us a nice bearish engulfing here. So this B and R is actually break and retest that I'm actually showing you guys. We have circle where we have our break and retest, and you can see when we had our break, we had a bearish engulfing candle. We have some consolidate move here, and we had a nice bearish engulfing candle, and you can see where price give us that flat pole towards the downside. So what I'm actually looking for, I'm actually looking for some sort of bearish flag pattern here for some sort of reaction like seller. So I want to see some sort of bearish flag pattern, so like some sort of liquidity build up within this zone here, possibly towards the upside, and then I'll look for price to continue low towards 190.73. Then I'll look for possibly buying opportunities at that zone. You know what I mean? So if you zoom in, you can see this level is a strong level of support as well. So I'll possibly look for price to actually react within that zone. So that's my views on these pairs for these upcoming weeks, as I said before. So like stay tuned and just keep an eye on these pairs. You know what I mean? Don't try to over trade. Focus on one pair. You know what I mean? Like focus on one pair. Yeah. Master it. Yeah. And that's how you're gonna become better, by just mastering one pair. So like this, you can see where I have pointed all my key levels for you guys. You know what I mean? So just pay close attention. I'm gonna just show you guys how I actually made 11k off trading NAS100. So let me just go back to indices only, so US 100. So what I want to show you guys, you can see where I have basic market structure again. So you can see where I have support and resistance, right? So looking at NAS100, you can see where I've drawn my resistance trend line. You can see where we have this impulse move towards the upside right there, and you can see we found some sort of resistance. So if you move back to your hourly time frame now, so just zoom in on your charts here, you can see this level is actually resistance zone. Yeah, so what I actually did, I actually moved back to my lower time frame, which is my 15-minute, where I can get better entries on my 5-minute. Yeah, so let's move to our 5-minute time frame now. So remember, yeah, bear in mind guys that we know that level is a level of resistance. Yeah, so you guys got to bear that in mind as well. So we already marked out this line as a level of resistance, so we got our resistance trend line drawn. What we see happen, we can see price came up here, we have highlighted with that yellow mark here. Price actually came up here, rejected that level of resistance, started going sideways on our 5-minute here, and what happened, we took an entry right there where we had this nice bearish engulfing close, and then you can see price actually fell short, hit our take profit here, and then you can see price actually build up some sort of liquidity here at this level of support right there. And what happened, you can see where price actually start trading towards the upside. So when I say trading towards the upside on my 5-minute time frame, this pink trend line that I've drawn there, which is support for me, you know what I mean? So you can see where price have been trading above that line, becomes a level of support, because look, you can see where price went up. We got our first touch, second touch, third touch, and then you can see where price went up high again here when we had our third touch, and then look, break that trend line here, found some sort of support right there. I mean around 15,343. Found some sort of support here, and look what happened. Went up back, break back through our trend line. You can see Prince went back above our trend line. I know that would have caused a lot of aggressive buyers, but you gotta be smart, you know what I mean? Look at that. Went up here, but look at all that wick rejection, you know what I mean? Then price came back down. Yeah, again, break, retest, and then fell short, start trading outside of my trend line here, and you can see what happened. Price actually went up here, but didn't close above my trend line again. So that confirmed to me, yes, sellers are in the market. Remember, yeah, first confirmation, we already at a level of resistance, right? So we know when we're at the level of resistance, we're going to look for some sort of sell opportunities, you know what I mean? So that's my confirmation, you know what I mean? Like simple things like that you need to understand. And what happened, you can see where price give us a head and shoulder type formation on this level. So you can see where I had 2 entries on this here, because I had one right here, which is my first entry. Reason why I took that first entry is because price actually came back here and it didn't break above this pink trend line drawn towards the upside. So that's my pink support trend line. So you can see price didn't break above that, so just went towards the downside, then start giving me this sideways move, and you can see where it gave us that inverse head and shoulder and went up, you know what I mean, rejecting this level of resistance as well, you know what I mean. So you can see where price actually break this level of resistance here, went up here, but it failed to continue high. Again, it would have caught a lot of buyers. So look at this, we had a nice bearish engulfing candle. Look what happened, price actually went short. Hit, I think here, this one hit my take profit, and you can see where it's just been going. Why did that move, man? You can see where it's just been going sideways here. Then I've took another entry to sell right there. So I've took another entry to sell. Yeah, so that was my next sell entry, but I didn't really caught much because I was looking, to be honest here, I was looking for price to fall back within this zone, but you can see we already had so many entries in the past, but this last one didn't went the way I wanted to went, so I wanted to go, sorry. So they actually came back up, and then when I see price start consolidating with all these weak starts, when I actually find an exit plan and I actually exit the market. So yeah, that's it from me, like no hard feelings, like just simple market structure, work your way up here, and that's how you get good opportunities in the market. If you like this video, what I'd like you to do, leave a comment here, whatever page you want me to break down for you guys, you know what I mean, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn the notifications on for future updates in the market. Thank you very much for watching this series, guys.